Did you know that millions of immigrants in Canada could be at risk of losing their residency by 2025? Experts warn that new immigration rules are stricter than ever, targeting everything from jobs and finances to social media activity and language skills. Families who thought they were safe might suddenly face visa denials or even forced relocation. Schools, workplaces, and communities across the country could see a huge disruption as these changes take effect. Some rules are so strict that even a minor mistake in documentation or online activity could put your future in Canada at risk. Today, we're breaking down 10 critical rules that could change everything for immigrants in 2025, rules you absolutely need to know. Number 10. Proof of financial stability. Canada's 2025 immigration reforms introduce a strict requirement for all applicants to demonstrate financial stability. This rule ensures that newcomers have sufficient funds to support themselves and their families without relying on social assistance or public programs. The government's goal is to confirm that immigrants can manage housing, healthcare, education, and daily living expenses from the moment they arrive. This requirement applies to permanent residents, skilled workers, temporary workers, and even certain family sponsorship cases, making it a critical factor for nearly every immigration application. Applicants must provide bank statements, investment records, employment income proofs, or financial guarantees. For families, this means that all income sources and financial responsibilities must be clearly documented. Immigration authorities may also evaluate debts, loans, and ongoing financial obligations to ensure that applicants can maintain stability in Canada. Failure to demonstrate adequate funds can result in application delays, denials, or additional verification requests, which can disrupt carefully planned relocation strategies. Experts stress that proper preparation is essential to avoid unnecessary complications. Practical steps include organizing all financial documents, maintaining transparent and verifiable accounts, and consulting with financial advisors or immigration professionals if there are concerns about eligibility. For applicants with multiple income sources or fluctuating earnings, providing detailed income histories and projections can strengthen the application. Families should also plan for initial settlement costs such as rent, utilities, school fees, and basic living expenses, ensuring that they meet the minimum financial thresholds. By demonstrating financial responsibility and stability, applicants not only comply with the rule but also show their ability to thrive independently in Canada. This requirement reflects the government's aim to welcome immigrants who are prepared, responsible, and capable of contributing to Canadian society from day one, making financial readiness a cornerstone of the 2025 immigration process. Number 9. Language proficiency requirements. Canada's 2025 immigration rules now enforce stricter language proficiency requirements for all applicants. While English or French skills have always been important, the new rule emphasizes that applicants must demonstrate functional fluency to integrate effectively into Canadian society. This includes the ability to communicate in workplaces, schools, and daily life, ensuring that newcomers can contribute economically, socially, and culturally. Immigration authorities will now require official language test results as a mandatory part of most visa and permanent residency applications. Applicants must provide certified test scores from recognized organizations, such as IELTS for English or TEF for French. Families should be aware that even children applying for educational programs may need to demonstrate basic language skills. Individuals who fail to meet the required scores may face visa delays, limited opportunities, or application denials. Experts highlight that language proficiency is not only a bureaucratic requirement but also a key factor in successful integration, career growth, and social participation. Families planning to immigrate should ensure that every member prepares adequately to meet these new standards. Practical strategies include enrolling in language courses, practicing through online resources or conversation groups, and taking practice tests well in advance of the application process. Applicants with lower proficiency can consider additional training or private tutoring to meet the requirements. Preparing for the language test early increases confidence, reduces stress, and ensures smoother processing of immigration applications. This rule emphasizes Canada's commitment to welcoming immigrants who are ready to communicate, work, and thrive in a multicultural environment. By meeting the language requirements, applicants demonstrate their adaptability, readiness, and commitment to building a stable, successful life in Canada under the 2025 immigration reforms. Number 8. Digital and social media screening. Canada's 2025 immigration rules introduce a new requirement for digital and social media screening of all applicants. This rule aims to ensure that immigrants do not engage in harmful, extremist, or illegal online behavior that could threaten public safety or national security. Immigration authorities will now review applicants' public online profiles, posts, and digital activities, adding a modern layer of verification to the traditional background checks. This change reflects the increasing importance of digital footprints in assessing an individual's character and suitability for life in Canada. Applicants must be aware that private and public content may be reviewed. Posts, comments, photos, and other online activities that demonstrate hate speech, illegal activity, or social misconduct can impact eligibility. Experts advise that even older online behavior may be scrutinized, so early preparation is crucial. Families should ensure that all members, including teenagers and young adults, understand the importance of clean digital histories, as violations could affect the entire family's application. Social media screening emphasizes the need for responsible online presence and transparency throughout the immigration process. Practical steps for compliance include reviewing and updating social media accounts, deleting inappropriate content, and avoiding engagement in controversial or risky online discussions. Applicants may also be asked to provide official statements or clarifications regarding their online activity. Legal guidance may be necessary for individuals with complex digital histories. While this rule may feel invasive, it is designed to ensure that immigrants are law-abiding, socially responsible, and aligned with Canadian values. By maintaining a positive and accountable online presence, applicants can prevent unnecessary delays or denials, demonstrating their readiness to integrate responsibly into Canadian society. Understanding and adhering to digital screening requirements is now an essential step for securing immigration approval under the 2025 reforms, making it a key priority for all prospective newcomers. Number 7. Criminal record and background checks. Canada's 2025 immigration reforms introduce more stringent criminal record and background checks for all applicants. While criminal history has always been a factor in immigration decisions, the new rules expand the scope of screening to include minor offenses, pending investigations, and international records. The government aims to ensure that newcomers do not pose a threat to public safety and can integrate smoothly into Canadian society. This rule applies to permanent residents, temporary workers, students, and even certain family sponsorship applications. Applicants are now required to submit detailed police clearance certificates from every country they have lived in for more than 6 months. Authorities may also request fingerprints, court records, and legal documentation to verify the absence of criminal activity. Families with multiple members, particularly children reaching adulthood during the application process, must ensure that all records are complete and up to date. Immigration experts warn that failing to comply with these requirements can lead to visa denial, deportation, or permanent bans, highlighting the critical importance of transparency and early preparation. Practical advice includes contacting local law enforcement agencies to obtain official clearance certificates, keeping a record of any minor offenses, and consulting an immigration lawyer if there is any uncertainty. Individuals who have past convictions may need to apply for rehabilitation or special waivers to remain eligible. Families should also anticipate additional verification steps if any member has traveled extensively or has records in multiple countries. This rule emphasizes Canada's focus on safety, trust, and accountability, ensuring that immigrants entering the country are law-abiding and reliable. By preparing thoroughly, applicants can avoid delays, secure approval, and demonstrate their commitment to contributing positively to Canadian society, making criminal record compliance a top priority under the 2025 rules. Number 5. Mandatory employment or job offer verification. Canada's 2025 immigration reforms introduce a rule requiring immigrants to provide proof of employment or a valid job offer before certain visas or permanent residency applications can be approved. Previously, applicants could rely on educational qualifications or potential job prospects, but the new regulation emphasizes financial independence and economic contribution from the very start. The Canadian government argues that this measure ensures newcomers can support themselves, integrate more effectively, and immediately participate in the workforce. This rule has significant implications for international students, skilled workers, and families planning to move. Applicants will need to submit official job contracts, letters from employers, and proof of salary, sometimes verified through additional background checks. Freelancers or self-employed individuals must provide detailed business records and tax filings to prove stable income. Immigration experts warn that failure to meet these employment requirements could result in application delays, denials, or revocation of previously granted status, making early preparation crucial. Families should also consider how job locations, salary levels, and employment stability will affect eligibility under this rule. Practical steps include contacting approved credential evaluation agencies, verifying which documents are required, and requesting official translations if necessary. Professionals in regulated fields should also check licensing requirements, as recognition alone may not suffice for practice. Planning ahead is critical, as delays in educational verification can disrupt employment, visa approvals, or even settlement plans. This rule reinforces Canada's commitment to a skilled and competent immigrant workforce. By ensuring credentials are recognized, applicants can secure better job prospects, higher salaries, and smoother integration, while also avoiding unnecessary legal or professional complications. Educational credential recognition is not just a formality, it is a mandatory step in proving readiness for life in Canada under the 2025 immigration reforms. Number 5. Mandatory employment or job offer verification. Canada's 2025 immigration reforms introduce a rule requiring immigrants to provide proof of employment or a valid job offer before certain visas or permanent residency applications can be approved. Previously, applicants could rely on educational qualifications or potential job prospects, but the new regulation emphasizes financial independence and economic contribution from the very start. The Canadian government argues that this measure ensures newcomers can support themselves, integrate more effectively, and immediately participate in the workforce. This rule has significant implications for international students, skilled workers, and families planning to move. Applicants will need to submit official job contracts, letters from employers, and proof of salary, sometimes verified through additional background checks. Freelancers or self-employed individuals must provide detailed business records and tax filings to prove stable income. Immigration experts warn that failure to meet these employment requirements could result in application delays, denials, or revocation of previously granted status, making early preparation crucial. Families should also consider how job locations, salary levels, and employment stability will affect eligibility under this rule. Practical advice includes securing a legitimate job offer, ensuring that employment details are accurately documented, and consulting with an immigration professional if there's any uncertainty. Job seekers should also be aware of the government's strict verification process, which may include contacting employers directly. For families, planning for multiple incomes or ensuring one spouse meets employment criteria can prevent unexpected setbacks. This rule reflects Canada's goal to maintain a robust workforce while welcoming immigrants who can actively contribute to the economy from day one. By preparing employment documents carefully, applicants can navigate this requirement smoothly, maintain their eligibility, and establish a stable foundation for life in Canada. Number 4. Health and medical screening requirements. Canada's 2025 immigration reforms introduce stricter health and medical screening requirements for all immigrants. While medical exams have always been part of the immigration process, the new rule mandates more comprehensive physical and mental health evaluations. This ensures that applicants do not pose a public health risk and are capable of living independently without placing an undue burden on Canada's healthcare system. The rule applies to permanent residency applicants, work permit holders, and even certain temporary visa categories, making compliance essential for almost every immigrant. This change has far-reaching implications for families, especially those with pre-existing medical conditions or dependents requiring ongoing care. Applicants will need to provide detailed medical records, vaccination history, and recent test results, sometimes from multiple healthcare providers. Failure to meet the new standards could result in visa denial, delays, or additional medical requirements. Experts highlight that mental health screenings will also play a crucial role, ensuring that immigrants have access to support and can integrate successfully. Families must plan ahead to schedule appointments, gather documents, and ensure that all health information is up to date and verifiable. Practical steps include scheduling early medical evaluations, maintaining complete vaccination records, and consulting immigration health experts for guidance. Individuals with chronic illnesses or ongoing treatment plans should provide detailed documentation to avoid misunderstandings during the application process. For families with children or elderly dependents, understanding the full scope of required medical tests is critical. While this rule adds a layer of preparation, it also ensures that immigrants entering Canada are healthy, resilient, and ready to contribute to society. By taking the screening seriously, applicants can prevent complications, secure their visa, and avoid unnecessary stress during the immigration process, making health compliance a top priority in 2025 and beyond. Number 3. Income-based visa requirements. Canada's 2025 immigration rules introduce income-based visa requirements, meaning applicants will now need to meet minimum income thresholds to qualify for certain visas, permanent residency, or family sponsorships. Previously, financial requirements were relatively flexible, but the new rule ensures that only individuals or families with sufficient economic stability can immigrate. The government argues that this measure is designed to reduce financial dependency on social services and ensure newcomers can support themselves and their families while integrating into Canadian society. This change has significant implications for families and individuals planning to move to Canada. Applicants will need to provide detailed financial documentation, including bank statements, tax returns, and employment records, to prove eligibility. Families with multiple dependents may face higher thresholds, creating challenges for low or mid-income applicants. Experts warn that failing to meet these financial requirements could result in visa denial, delays, or revocation of existing applications, making it crucial for immigrants to carefully plan their finances in advance. Practical advice for those affected includes calculating total household income, exploring sponsorship options, and consulting an immigration advisor for personalized guidance. Those planning to study or work abroad temporarily should also ensure that income from overseas sources is adequately documented. Preparing early can make a significant difference, as financial verification will be strictly enforced from 2025 onwards. This rule emphasizes the importance of economic preparedness, ensuring that only those who can contribute to Canada's economy and maintain self-sufficiency are approved. Immigrants should view this change as both a challenge and an opportunity. By meeting the income requirements, they can secure a smoother transition, maintain residency, and build a stable future in Canada. Number 2. Increased language proficiency standards. The second major rule in Canada's 2025 immigration reforms is the introduction of increased language proficiency standards for immigrants seeking permanent residency, work permits, or citizenship. Previously, applicants could meet minimum requirements in English or French, often allowing basic conversational skills. Under the new rule, individuals will need higher scores on officially recognized language tests, ensuring they can communicate effectively in professional, educational, and social settings. This change aims to improve integration, employment opportunities, and societal participation. Studies show that immigrants with strong language skills have higher chances of finding stable jobs, earning competitive salaries, and participating in community activities. The Canadian government argues that raising language standards will help new residents contribute more fully to the economy and society, reducing unemployment and increasing overall productivity. For families and individuals, this rule introduces a new layer of preparation. Applicants may now be required to demonstrate proficiency in both oral and written communication, making it essential to enroll in language courses, practice regularly, and take mock tests. Those who fail to meet the required scores could face delays, denials, or even a loss of eligibility. This particularly affects immigrants from regions where English or French is not commonly spoken, emphasizing the need for early planning. Practical advice includes identifying certified language programs, allocating sufficient time for preparation, and keeping track of official test scores. Employers and universities may also need to verify language credentials for applicants, adding another step in the application process. For families, it is important to plan for children's language education, as it could impact long-term residency and integration. This rule reflects a broader effort to ensure that immigrants are fully equipped to thrive in Canadian society, balancing the nation's welcoming policies with practical requirements for success. Strong language skills are no longer optional, they are a mandatory component of immigration eligibility. Individuals affected should begin intensive language training immediately to avoid complications when the 2025 rules take effect, making early action essential for securing their place in Canada. Number 1. Stricter residency requirements. One of the most impactful changes in Canada's 2025 immigration rules is the introduction of stricter residency requirements for immigrants. Previously, permanent residents were allowed to spend significant time outside Canada without risking their status. However, the new rule mandates that all permanent residents must spend at least 75% of the year physically in Canada to maintain their residency. This is a major shift because failing to meet these requirements could lead to loss of permanent residency and even the need to leave the country. Experts warn that this change could particularly affect immigrants who travel frequently for work, family, or education purposes. Imagine a family where one parent works internationally while the other manages responsibilities in Canada. Under the new rules, maintaining residency could become extremely challenging. Immigration lawyers emphasize the importance of tracking every day spent outside the country, including short trips, as these will directly impact eligibility. This rule is backed by government research, showing that physical presence in Canada is essential for social integration, economic participation, and civic engagement. Studies indicate that immigrants who spend more time in Canada are more likely to achieve employment stability, language proficiency, and community involvement. Therefore, the policy is positioned as a way to strengthen the connection between residents and Canadian society, though it does add pressure on individuals with international commitments. Practical advice for anyone affected includes keeping a detailed travel log, using digital tools to track days, and consulting with an immigration attorney if there's any risk of falling short. Families should also plan ahead to ensure that travel for business or education does not inadvertently violate these new requirements. For students, workers, or frequent travelers, understanding how absences from Canada accumulate is critical to avoid unexpected consequences. This change emphasizes the importance of planning, documentation, and legal guidance. Missing even a few days could have serious repercussions, making it crucial to fully understand the details of the new rule. Individuals and families should start preparing now, as compliance will be strictly enforced from 2025 onward, ensuring that only those genuinely residing and contributing in Canada maintain their status. Canada's 2025 immigration reforms are some of the most sweeping changes in recent history, and understanding them is no longer optional, it's essential. From mandatory employment verification to financial stability proof, language proficiency, and social media screening, each rule is designed to ensure that immigrants entering Canada are prepared, responsible, and ready to contribute. Ignoring even one of these regulations could result in delays, denials, or forced relocation, affecting millions of lives. Families, students, and skilled workers must carefully plan, prepare, and document every aspect of their applications, from education credentials to clean criminal records, to navigate this complex system successfully. These rules reflect Canada's focus on safety, economic stability, and social integration, meaning that only those who meet these standards will thrive in the coming years. Staying informed, seeking professional guidance when needed, and taking proactive steps can make the difference between secure residency and unexpected complications. The time to act is now, and awareness is your most powerful tool. If you found this video eye-opening, share your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear your experiences and opinions. Don't forget to check out our previous video for more essential updates that could affect your future in Canada. We put so much effort into creating these videos to keep you informed, so please support us by subscribing. It's just one click, and it means the world.